YouTube, what's up? It has always been a goal of mine to solo UBERS with my Chain Lightning Frozen Orb build since I started playing D2R. I wanted to show that this hybrid Lightning variant was able to complete everything in the game, including UBERS, without the need to respec. I always felt like this character was very strong and had some unique, underutilized skills. I will go over the gear I'm using for the build, my Merc Setup for pre-UBERS, the gear swap I use to amplify my cold damage, and Merc Setup for Uber Mephisto. Lastly, I will go over my skill points and stats used in the build. Timestamps and links will be in the description below. So I'm just going to go over the gear that I'm using and how I'm going to plan on doing the UBERS, and then we'll see if we can do Uber Tristram by swapping to an Act 5 mercenary setup. So the gear I'm going to be using is the Oculus with 5/5 light facet in it, Shaco with a 5/5 facet in it, 30 all res Maras, Spirit, Marowak boots for the Bone Prison and Life Tap, 2 SOJs, Arachnid's Mesh, Enigma, and Mage Fist. On swap, I have 262 CTA and another Spirit. For a torch, I have a 1919 torch. For an Annie, I have a 2019-10 Annie. And then we have some life and res jewels, some random res, hit recovery, life and res jewels. And lightning skillers with a bunch of life. Lightning skillers with a bunch of life. My mercenary setup, he's using a V-Gaze with a 15 increased attack speed and light res jewel and Chains of Honor. That will give him life leech and good damage reduction. And then he's using a infinity and a man catcher for the 40 crushing blow. So it gives him 28 damage reduction, 14 life leech, 15 increased attack speed, and 40% crushing blow. And he's a prayer merc, level 98. So let's make these portals. I could use a Griffins instead of this for some extra light damage, but I don't think we'll need it. So let's just pre-buff. Usually the Merc doesn't even need to be, or doesn't usually get hit if you do Bone Prison right. So Bone Prison and Life Tap just in case. So let's go Forgotten Sands. So the method here is you just Bone Prison him. And then static. And then get as close as I can and do Charge Bolt. What is going on? Gotta clear some of this, I guess. Usually if you get really close, it helps because all the charge bolts will hit him. So yeah, that was a little more difficult because all these guys around him were sucking up some of the charge bolts. But we got it. So it's going to be important to have a clean...
What do you need?
A clean Bone Prison for Izual. Yo, don't die, Merc.
Good afternoon.
Just got to be pretty active with these and not... Gotta remember I need a clean Bone Prison. So I need Izzy to be kind of on his own. Life tap. Oops. So static, and then charge bolt. There we go. It helps to be really close to him.
How may I be of help?
So for this, just in case, we'll take some poison pots. Oops.
Thanks. 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 Thanks.
Give those to Izzy. I mean, my Merc.
Afternoon.
Need more gold. These repairs get expensive. You could use a chip gem and some Ort rune, I think. What are we doing? Let me just make sure I got enough pots. Again, it's important to get a good bone prison. And keep my Merc alive. Because I need his infinity to help with the damage. That amp damage is not great. I'm gonna clear that.
Salutations.
Okay, so there's Lilith. Okay, so she's in there. Just need a bone prisoner. Oh, yeah. Again, let's go back home. Clear this amp damage. Maybe take some pots.
I can't use this yet.
Taking these antidote potions boosts your poison res to
Thanks. 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 Thanks.
85. Alright, so we just need to bone prisoner. Hopefully the bone prison lasts. Good. Yep. Okay, now I just need the bone prison to go away. There we go. So pre-Ubers are pretty good with this setup and this method. I'm gonna see if I can pull Mephisto out and just kind of trap him first. And then try and do Baal and Diablo. And save Mephisto for last. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Make the portal. Lose the cube. Actually, that won't rip. Yeah, all right. Lose the cube. Let's see if we can trap him up top, bone prison him, and then do Baal. Without my Merc dying. Yeah. Let's go for it. Pull Mephisto. I'll life tap him. But we want to trap him up here. Okay. We got Baal. Oh! So yeah, that charge bolt will not work. Okay.
Evening.
Okay. We'll see if we can go back in there. Seemed like we got it pretty close, but... Okay. Did Baal. So now Gonna ambush. Alright, we did Diablo. Okay, so now we got, last but not least, Mephisto. Alright, so the mercenary setup. I had to get a new Merc, Braum, Frenzy Barb, Arit's face with a Cham in it, Fortitude, Sacred Armor Fortitude, Kingslayer for 33% chance of crushing blow and 50% chance of open wounds. And then Last Wish, which has the Might Aura, enhanced damage, chance to cast Life Tap, and 63% chance of crushing blow. Alright, so we're all cold skillers. So we're going cold damage. And then swap to cold gear. Death Fathom. So we have Triangles for the cast rate and cold resist. We have Death Fathom with a 5/5 cold facet and a Nightwings with a 5/5 cold facet. Mara's Spirit. We're keeping the Mara Walks for the first life tap. Hopefully the Merc can survive. 2 Stones of Jordan, Arachnid's Mesh, and Enigma. So the plan is get in there, life tap, and then clear the rest of the mobs and hope that the Barb can handle Mephisto on his own. So let's see. And the only thing I can do is frozen. Frozen orb. Come on, Barb. Do it. Do it. Oh my god. Yes, he died, but he did it. He did it. He sacrificed his life. Maybe my last frozen orb was what did it. Hopefully this is a good torch, because this was a project. This was a project.
day.
I think that chance of open runes was key. 3 assassin. 1716 assassin. Decent, but I think the assassin one I have is already better. But that was pretty cool. That was the first time I've soloed UBERS with a sorceress. So yes, it can be done. Yeah, so that was my gear. I'll show you the skill tree and the stats that I used. So this is my regular Chain Lightning Frozen Orb build. So 1 point into Frozen Armor, and then 1 point into all these synergies, 1 point into Cold Mastery, and then max out Frozen Orb. And then for Lightning, I max out Charge Bolt, Lightning, Chain Lightning, and Lightning Mastery. No points into Teleport because I'm using Enigma. 1 point into Telekinesis, 1 point into Static Field, and then 1 point into Warmth. And then we were using Marowak Boots for the Bone Prison and Life Tap. And Mercenary died. But let's just go back to the Merc.
What is it?
Mercenary using Last Wish. Again, expensive. Last Wish. Sacred Armor Fortitude. Barit's Face with a Cham in it. And Kingslayer. And then I supplemented his damage to Mephisto with all of these cold skillers. All cold skillers. And then cold swap for Nightwings, which was 20 cold damage. Death Fathom, which is 35 cold damage, and some resists. And then your typical Spirit, Maras, SOJs, Arax, Triangles, and then Marowak Boots. So yeah, that's it. We did it. Completed it. That was the goal. Solo UBERS. Again, this is an expensive build, probably one of the most expensive. And to top it off, it's with a 99 Sorceress. So it took a hell of a long time. So dying did not matter for me at all. And in this build, just enough strength to wear my gear. I'm getting the extra strength from the Marowak Boots and some of the cold gear. And then everything else into Vitality. So that is the build. So we did it. Chain Lightning Frozen Orb can do it with a Mercenary swap. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below and let me know if you've done solo UBERS with your sorceress. Thanks.